Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel English Literati. In today's video, I shall discuss with you the short story The Barber State Union by Mulk Anand. First of all, I shall give you the introduction of the writer in brief and then I shall tell you the summary of the story The Barber State Union. The story is included in Unit 4th of semester 1st of University of Lucknow and the name of the paper is Short Fiction. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then do subscribe to it so that you never miss an update. Let me begin the introduction of the writer Mulk Anand. Mulk Anand, born in 1905 in Peshawar and died in 2004 in Pune, is regarded as one of the pioneers of Indian English novel and short story writing. He is a writer of grace, force, class, and values. He uses art as a tool to serve humanity. He is writer of have-nots, a champion of the poor and underdogs. His novels and short stories are huge carnival where all kind of people rub shoulders with one another. He shows the entire social corpus from kings to beggars, from upper caste people to untouchables, from landlords to their servants, etc. He shows the psyche of both the exploiters and the exploited. Mulk Anand is a humanist and uses art for life's sake. He pathetically presents the pain, plight, and predicament of the outcast in our Indian society. He paints the real picture of the society in his works. He was born in Peshawar, now in Pakistan, but at that time it was the part of the northwest frontier province of India. He hailed from a copper-smith family and his father, after matriculation, found the job in Dogra regiment of the British Indian Army. He did graduation from Khalsa College, Amritsar in 1924. Anand went to London for higher studies and studied at University College and Cambridge University. In 1936, he returned to India to study Indian art and culture. He was highly influenced with Mahatma Gandhi, his philosophies and teachings, and also stayed at Sabarmati Ashram for some time. In 1938, he married English actress Kathleen Gelder and had a daughter, Sushila, with her, but after a decade he sought divorce from her and later married Parsi classical dancer Shireen Wajifdar in 1950. He was a very prolific writer and was the editor of the magazine Marg. His literary output includes 15 novels and 70 to 80 short stories inter alia. The notable works are Untouchable novel. It was his first novel published in 1935. Then Coolie 1936, Two Leaves and a Bird in 1937, Lament on the Death of a Master of Arts in 1938, The Village in 1939, Across the Black Waters published in 1940, The Sword and the Sickle in 1942, The Barber State Union and other short stories were published in 1944. Awards. He was conferred with Sahitya Academy Award in 1971, Padam Bhushan in 1967 and International Peace Prize he got in 1953, etc. Mulk Anand's short stories are woven around the social issues, injustice, caste distinction, exploitation, poverty, untouchability, wide gulf existing between rich and poor in India, etc. His stories show his great sense of humor and deep understanding of human frailties and follies, assertion for the rights of the marginalized people, etc. His characters are rag pickers, barbers, sweepers, water carriers, leather workers, watermen, tonga drivers, grass cutters, etc. He combines the texture of folktales with focus on characters and situations of contemporary life. He was highly influenced with the spirit of Aesop's fables and Panchatantra. The Barber State Union gives us a glimpse of rural society of India. It is a story of young poor barber boy Chandu who is compelled to take the profession of his father after his death to run his family. He revolts against the exploitation and humiliation meted out to him by rich and upper caste people. He forms a barber state union with other barbers of the nearby villages and opens a shop, forcing the upper caste people to come to his shop to take barber services. The story shows the victory of justice, self-respect, freedom and morality, etc. Now I am going to tell you the summary of the story. The Barber State Union is a very famous story by Mulk Anand, taken from his short story collection The Barber State Union and Other Stories published in 1944. The story shows the evils of caste system prevalent in our Indian society. The story has also the theme of inequality, alienation, control and liberty, etc. The story is about Chandu, a poor barber boy who is the protagonist of the story. The story is told in first person. The narrator of the story is an unnamed upper caste friend of Chandu's age. Chandu's father dies early and he is forced to carry the profession ahead in order to earn livelihood for the family. He goes to houses of the upper caste people in the village to give services to them of hair cutting and shaving, etc. Chandu was a good student at school, and at the narrator of the story, his classmate was highly enamored of his talent. He was 6 months senior to the narrator in the class. Both grew together, wallowing in the mud and playing games of shopkeeping, soldiering and clerking, etc. He had fancy towards his skill at catching bees, pressing poison out of their tails and binding their legs with cotton thread to fly them. He was weak in mathematics though, but good at reading prose and reciting poetry. The narrator's mother didn't like her son's friendship with low-caste barber boy. She also didn't like his getting a scholarship and her own son paying fee in school. He also craved for the freedom that Chandu had in his life. He didn't like his traditional dress of achkan and trousers and always longed to wear the clothes that Chandu wore. After Chandu's father's death due to plague, Chandu was forced to do his father's profession. Chandu left school after his father's death. After giving services to the villagers, Chandu, clad in spectacular and colorful dresses, used to go to town on climbing on the footrest of the lawyer Lala Hukumchand's carriage and thus finding an opportunity to earn money by hair cutting and shaving of the people in the way. He always bought gifts from town for the narrator: chalk, brush, pencils and golden ink and double-edged knife, etc. Both remains great friends even after his leaving the school. In the town, he sees dentist Kalan Khan and emulates his way of dressing, wearing the white rubber overcoat and leather shoes. He goes to Zamindar Vijay Chand's house to get abuses and is ordered to come in his usual dress. He said that overcoat was made of animal marrow and bag of cowhide. Later, he was insulted by Saukar Thanuram and Pandit Parmanand for wearing defiled clothes. Chandu was hurt by the racial and abusive remarks of the upper caste people. Chandu then thinks to earn money more by going to town and doing hair cutting and shaving of the people. He buys a Japanese bicycle from the spoilt and gambling son of Lala Hukumchand for 5 rupees. He tells his friend that he will learn how to ride the cycle and will use to go to town riding on it, looking very smart, wearing overcoat, leather shoes and white turban on head, and also having his toolkit hanging on its peg. While trying to tell Chandu how to ride it in the market, narrator lost the balance of the cycle and Chandu fell on the ground. Saukar and others thronging the market laughed at him and insulted him by his abusive remark. Chandu was deeply hurt by the abuses, turned hostile and decided to avenge his oppressors. Chandu now decides to go on strike and not to deliver services at home to rich people. He called a meeting of the fellow barbers of the nearby villages and delivered an impassioned speech against the humiliation extended to them by upper caste people. When Chandu left attending the upper caste for barber services, all looked shabby in their looks, and landlord's wife even told to run away with someone, as she, being much younger than her husband, who now looked much older, without shaving. Chandu tells fellow barbers to open a shop in partnership and force the rich and upper caste people to come at the shop to take barber services. All barbers agreed to his plan. Thus the Barber State Union was formed and Chandu became a hero and champion of poor barbers and inspired others to begin such movements in other trades too. Chandu saw the salon of Niranjan Das in town and an idea of opening a shop struck his mind. He opens a shop with his cousin, the barber of Varka, Dhannu and other barbers of nearby villages, etc. Chandu's Rajkot barbers, brothers' hairdressing and shaving saloon thus paved the way for other trade unions to follow his suit. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, then do share it with your friends. Thank you, and thank you very much.